The tragedy of World War II Trafford Leigh-Mallory. Trafford Leigh-Mallory, 1892 to 1944. Leigh-Mallory, LM in this video, was a World War I Royal Flying Corps pilot and a key Royal Air Force commander in the World War II Battle of Britain. He became Air Commander-in-Chief, C&C, for the World War II D-Day Landings. Finally, he was appointed as Air C&C of the World War II Southeast Asia Command, SEAC. This video covers his tragic flight to take up the SEAC job. Despite his rise to high rank in the Royal Air Force, an historical stain remains on his reputation because his character led to animosity, ruination of others' careers, and higher than expected war casualties. EGDL Lynham Airport, west of London, UK. Former RAF Lynham, default scenery. The 3rd of November, 1944. LM's aircraft, a new Avro York, registered MW126, was a transport aircraft modified from the Avro Lancaster bomber. Note, we don't have an Avro York in MSFS, so we'll take the Lancaster. Possible safety issue. Had the new aircraft been thoroughly run in? The aircraft was flown from RAF Lynham to RAF Northolt to be fitted out internally for LM, upgraded with new propellers and new heavy undercarriage, and test flown but not at full operating weight. Possible safety issue. Did the refit and upgrade contribute to a possible overloading issue? Approaching RAF Northolt. LM's actual Avro York. EGW RAF Northolt, Western Greater London, UK. Freeware scenery. The 14th of November, 1944, 0907 hours. The aircraft departed Northolt with 8 crew, LM and his wife, and all their very considerable belongings. Oral tradition has it that a crew member said the night before the flight that we will not clear the Alps. Possible safety issue. Was the aircraft within weight and balance limits? The pilot was Charles Lancaster, 32-year-old, engineering degree, distinguished flying cross, chosen by LM, with considerable flying experience but limited on the Avro York. Another pilot had told him he needed more experience before undertaking such a long flight. Possible safety issue. Was the pilot sufficiently experienced on the Avro York for such a challenging flight? As well as the pilot, the other crew were a co-pilot, navigator, wireless operator, flight engineer, 2 fitters, and a steward. So, 10 persons on board altogether. The weather was bad at Northolt, with low cloud and rain. The forecast was cloud at 12 and 15,000 feet, rain, cloud above freezing level with heavy ice, 17,000 feet would be generally above cloud and severe ice. Possible safety issue. Should the aircraft have departed in such weather, including the possibility of icing? The flight had been delayed for several days due to LM's illness. Possible safety issues. Was there a degree of get-there-itis impacting the flight? Did LM insist that the flight go ahead? Unless they found themselves in distress, the crew was ordered not to use the aircraft's identify friend or foe system until reaching southern France for fear of alerting the aircraft's presence to the enemy. Upon reaching southern France, they were to switch it on and leave it on for the rest of the flight. Possible safety issue. Would there temporarily be no indication of location in case of an accident? LM's World War II flight plan from UK to Ceylon to take up his Southeast Asia Command appointment. Selsey Bill Headland, Southern England, UK, the 14th of November, 1944, 0925 hours. The escorting Spitfires left the Avro and returned to base in bad weather. The Avro continued alone across the English Channel. Other RAF pilots reported atrocious weather and either turned back to the UK or landed in France. Possible safety issue. Was the weather deteriorating as the flight progressed, such that it should have turned back? De Barfleur, Cherbourg, northern France, the 14th of November, 1944, 0951 hours. The Avro was plotted at 6,000 feet by UK personnel, but then tracking ceased as was the normal practice. It was then below cloud. The aircraft was not heard from again. Possible safety issue. With no further tracking, as well as no IFF, there would be no indication of location in case of an accident. Abim Coutances, northern France, the 14th of November, 1944, 1,000 hours. The Avro was spotted by a passing DC-3 at 1,500 feet in appalling weather. The DC-3 crew turned back to the UK in what they considered the worst ever weather they had seen. They believed the Avro would have been in freezing conditions. Other aircraft in the vicinity were turning back or landing, one flying blind with severe windscreen icing despite wipers and anti-icing fluid. Possible safety issue. Another missed opportunity to turn back, or emergency landing, or proceed above cloud. Western end of French Alps, the 14th of November, 1944, 1,200 plus hours. Villagers, miles east of the intended flight path, reported the roar of aircraft engines and the sound of a crash. The appalling weather included thick fog and heavy snow. After weeks of extensive searching, nothing was found. A court of inquiry considered all possibilities, mechanical, overloading, visibility, ice, etc., and concluded it was probably the Avro inexperienced pilot's failure to turn back or climb above bad weather. Drone footage flying northwest heading. Villagers in the valley, bottom center, reported the crash. Crash site directly ahead just below the top of the ridge. The Avro was likely flying towards the drone, on the other side of the ridge. Struck the top, and then rolled down this side of the ridge. Crash site. In June 1945, 7 months after the crash, thawing snow revealed the crash site to a local worker on an alpine ridge at 6,700 feet. Even as it had cleared that ridge, there were higher peaks ahead. The court of inquiry was not reopened as it was considered that it would be a waste of time. Ironically, LM's replacement at SEAC was his Battle of Britain rival, Keith Park, whose career LM had done much to hinder. Reconstruction. A equals Pyrenees Mountains. B equals Massif Central. C equals French Alps. D equals Selsey Bill Headland. E equals Abim Coutances, spotted by passing DC-3 which turned back to the UK due to bad weather. X equals crash site at 6,700 feet, just below summit. Dashed line equals change to avoid tight turn between Pyrenees, A, and Massif Central, B, at Toulouse. Red arrowheads equals an easy error in atrocious weather, tailwind from west, and no GPS, just time and distance calculations, etc. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked. To finish up, enjoy some real-life Avro York footage, courtesy of YouTube channel British Airliner Collection.
After completing the design drawings for the Lancaster in 1941, Avro's designer Roy Chadwick turned to designing a transport aircraft that would take advantage of the Lancaster's long-distance load-carrying capabilities and good handling qualities. To make use of the production lines, the Avro 685 York used the same wing, power plant, undercarriage and tail unit as the Lancaster, but featured a completely new square section, all-metal fuselage with twice the cubic capacity for cargo and passenger carrying. As early as 1944, British Overseas Airways Corporation, the government-owned forerunner of British Airways, were operating 5 transport Yorks, with seating for 12 passengers on a route from Britain to Cairo via Morocco. From the end of the Second World War, the York was in constant use by the RAF as both troop transport and cargo aircraft. Today, this York is one of only 2 examples left out of the 256 built in Britain between 1942 and 1948. For 20 years, the York was one of the mainstays of long-distance air travel around the world and helped to shape the future of long-haul air travel as we know it today.